4 high, 4 low?
Just mud.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go mud. It's fun though, I gotta admit, this is awesome. That's gonna be a tough one later today.
Yeah.
It is so greasy that control is very limited in these conditions. You put input one way and the car goes the other way. This was a fairly interesting one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful in a couple sections. Well, this kind of feels like deja vu at this point, not only due to the soggy, wet weather, but also the fact that we find ourselves here in the 2025 4Runner TRD Off Road for the very first, I guess, vehicle inside of this rally. And I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity to take it on the off-road course before it gets too nasty, muddy, not only inside vehicles, but also just on the outside. And we're going to go ahead and take it on the easy course here and see how it does in general. If you guys have not seen the road trip video slash comparison between the TRD Off Road and the TRD Pro, make sure you guys check that out. But we're going to just do a quick off-road video, I think, just to see and test out some of the mechanical hardware improvements, enhancements. And the reason I said this is not on the more difficult course is because it's the front air dam, which of course I've mentioned in my videos walk around tour of this particular vehicle. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put this in 4 high. 4 high, 4 low?
Just mud. All we need is mud setting.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Go 4 low.
Okay. 4 low, mud terrain in the multi-terrain select. And we're gonna follow this easy course. This course is absolutely soaking wet. I like the tires on the way up. Didn't have any sort of hydroplaning issues out on the interstate, and I think the ride quality and road noise was very good. This thing is just wanting to slide all over the place. Basically follow the line, and that's about it. This really isn't all that difficult for this vehicle in the grand scheme of things, but it is always a good test to at least see how it performs on a trail like this, or in conditions like this at the end of the day. A little bit of wet grass here. Cameras came up. Of course, we can manually select the cameras right there. Love the fact that it has the pitch and roll and all the different views for the TRD Off Road. And we're going to leave the rear differential unlocked. Did pretty good, actually. Easy stuff. Of course, the tires are not caked or anything like that with mud. Got the deep puddle here. Do some water fording. I mean, this is honestly a challenge for any amount of tire that you can throw on a vehicle. I mean, these conditions are just... I mean, look, I'm steering. The vehicle's not one to turn at all. Oh, there's a traction. It's working. It is working overtime just to get up that slight hill. Tires are now starting to get a little caked with mud, no doubt. It's doing it, not a problem though. And of course, we still have the rear locker unlocked. These hairpin turns are going to be the problem here. It's just going to want to eat into the bank on the right side, use that as a barrier. Wow, this is greasy. See how it does in this hairpin turn right here? Not bad. That's actually really impressive. That's going to be a tough one later today.
Yeah, the way that
It
body just slid back
made a
over.
barely contacted something back there.
Yeah.
Might have been the mud flat, but yeah. All right, well, thank you.
All right, yep, have a good one.
Yeah, this the more I'm getting into this trail with this vehicle, conditions are beyond suboptimal, I would say. Not particularly due to the capability of this vehicle, but it is so greasy that control is very limited in these conditions. And if you're not careful, you're going to slide into a tree or a rock or fall off the line you need to take with some of these vehicles due to ground clearance or other equipment such as mud guards or side steps, anything like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see once I get back to staging what the game plan is today with some of these vehicles. All right, right there. So this hill's got a bank on it, and there's a tree stump right on the inside. If you let off or slide at the wrong time, you're gonna slide right into that tree stump and potentially damage something. This vehicle, for what the conditions are, it's doing a pretty darn good job. You put input one way and the car goes the other way. Oh, this is awesome though. All right, so here we got a big tree root on the inside. And I gotta be careful here. I think I got plenty of ground clearance. Cut it in, use the cameras again. Oh, feel the rear tire hooked on that tree root. I think we're over it. Come on, baby. Grab traction. Oh, that's some of these lines and some of these trees are tight. This thing, I will have to say, as we come out of the off-road course on the easy trail in these conditions, which is not all that easy, the 4Runner, even in 4-low or 4-wheel drive, has some of the best turning radius or turning circles. It just feels so fantastic. It was so easy to navigate all of these tight hairpin corners. I love it. I mean, it is a great experience behind the wheel of this vehicle off-road. It rides good. The Bilstein dampers seem to do a better job on these conditions than out on the road at 70 miles an hour, hitting mild potholes, if you will. So I think it feels like this vehicle is suited more for these conditions than it is towards on-road. But even with that said, it can do on-road fairly proficiently, and I don't have any major complaints as a whole, as long as you understand what you're getting into with this particular vehicle. Okay, so we find ourselves here in the vehicle. I will be road tripping back home and having for a couple days here on the channel the 2025 4Runner TRD Pro. Only has 174 miles on it as of me sitting in locked into 4-low there, and we'll go ahead and use the multi-terrain select, and it looks like we might actually follow the off-road out onto the course. There's the mud mode. Turn the wipers up a little bit here and see how this thing does. This thing feels beefy behind the wheel. Immediately I can see the visibility differences with the bulged hood up here. Alrighty, here we go. More difficult trails, you heard him. And we're gonna see how the Pro does versus the off-road. Again, similar course, same conditions. Few more challenging obstacles here. Look at this turning radius though. Like, I get it's greasy, but we just made that in one full sweep. That is awesome. I mean, again, that's not two-door Wrangler type turning, but that is not far off and very impressive for a vehicle like this. So suspension immediately offhand doesn't feel too different. Are going to be some different dampers. These cameras are coming in so handy. This hood is a little bit intrusive for visibility in tight courses like this, but once you have the front camera and then the two side cameras for your wheels and tires on the side of the vehicle, it's super easy. It's really not too bad at all. Ooh, big rocks through this one. Oh, this thing is This could think, I got to see how my impressions are driving this on road, but man, this thing could be a great daily driver. Got the hybrid powertrain in this one. There we go, big rock. Alrighty, got a little bit of a narrow twisty section here. There's a bunch of rocks, as you can see on the front camera here, and this thing has plenty of ground clearance. There we are, rear wheels caught up on a rock. Traction control doing its thing. I actually do want to disconnect the sway bar, so we're going to do that, get around this corner and go ahead and disconnect it. So I want to see how that changes the feel over some of these rocks. So sway bar disconnect, flashing lights. There we go, disconnected. That should provide a little bit more articulation at the front of the vehicle, soften things up a little bit, not as restrictive. And maximum articulation, of course. Feels a little bit better, a little bit more forgiving at the front end. It's not so restricted by the sway bar. Oh, and you can see rock in front of us. Need to back up. We got a spotter here in front of us. Guide us over these obstacles. Alrighty. So this is the first time the TRD Pro has been on this course, so have to see how ground clearance is doing. We're gonna watch the spotter as we get through here. All right, made it through that. This is what I mean. You gotta watch that back end. All right. Perfect, give me the thumbs up. Made it over that obstacle good. All right. Wait for the hand signals, go right. And this should make this corner no problem.
Right there.
Awesome.
Now you just want to put your driver's side tire right on that rock.
Awesome,
Good
thank
job.
you.
Nice job. Little pad. There you go. Keep it right there. Right there.
Little bit of contact there, but not bad at all. Honestly, to be expected. Yeah, that was pretty impressive there as we get a little bit more rain coming through. All right, so now we gotta start going back to the cameras. We got a big rock over here on our left. Go around it, crank it. Boom, good. Oh man, these conditions are greasy. All right. I might actually try to get out and get a picture real quick. Two different routes here. I believe one has a little bit of articulation, which I do want to test out in this vehicle. So we're gonna go on the left here. Got these big articulation, and we're gonna see how well this thing does. So we're gonna up. Oh, fantastic. I don't even think this is picking up a wheel. If it is, just barely. Easy. A little bit of a hill here. Got that hybrid mode, and it even shows you what wheels are slipping. Whoa, that's awesome. It shows you on the screen what wheels are losing traction. What? I didn't notice that in the other one. Not a problem. Get a little bit muddy, why not, you know? Got to make it look the part. All right, so we got another hill climb here.
Just like Splash Mountain, just idle down there.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Yep, thank you. All right, get to do the second half. Oh. All right, there we go. Well, definitely could feel some of the suspension working as well as the articulation there. Felt actually pretty robust and pretty comfortable. Not an issue. Okay, so here we're gonna have a spotter on this section. This is like, dude, it's not even wanting to turn. Wheel slip. All right. Cool.
Yep. Keep a straight wheel.
Okay.
Keep going straight, straight. And now start.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so really not a ton of difference I can feel outside of additional ground clearance. The tire wheel setup, I think, has more traction in these conditions on the Pro. Sway bar disconnect certainly feels like the front end is a little bit looser and more flexible in its articulation over bumps and things like that, I think, which ultimately leads to a little bit more control. Love the camera views on both vehicles, on both 4Runners. Love the wheel traction indicator up here in the black section on the infotainment. Might as well use the black space if you have it. And multi-terrain select does a very good job with the traction control and combined with 4 low to really just, you know, power through these greasy as can be conditions. So you join me here at the end of this off-road comparison video here with the 2025 Toyota 4Runner TRD Off Road Premium and TRD Pro. Now, I do have full dedicated road trip impressions for each of these two vehicles, walk arounds, some likes and dislikes, everything like that here on the channel. So make sure you guys check those separate videos out if you guys want a little bit more overall impressions or opinions of each of these two vehicles. Nearly 1,000 miles were driven by me on both of these two over a 7-day period, which is a great, unique opportunity. But in terms of their off-road performance, now because the TRD Off-Road comes standard with that lower air dam and we were not able to remove them for this off-road test, it was stuck on the easier off-road course. Now it could have easily handled the more difficult, but again, they were cognizant of the ground clearance issues. Now, in terms of their drivelines and drivetrains, the TRD Off-Road Premium had the standard gas engine, the TRD Pro comes standard with the hybrid, and I didn't really feel any major differences off-road per se, although there's certainly going to be a little bit more torque available with the hybrid system given its electric motor, and of course the turbo 4-cylinder instead of just having the turbo 4. Both of them have 2-speed part-time 4-wheel drive, so they have the 2 high, 4 low transfer case in the middle, multi-terrain select, crawl control, all of the software and hardware capabilities, locking rear differentials on both. The TRD Pro had the stabilizer disconnect for the front axle where the TRD Off-Road Premium did not in this particular case. And I did use the sway bar disconnect on the TRD Pro during the entire course. And I think ultimately it did make the chassis feel a little bit more relaxed and flexible on certain obstacles. But it was a little bit difficult to tell exactly what it was doing because of these muddy conditions. It was soft. Ultimately, grip was not in your favor, and just kind of like felt the vehicle just wanted to follow the main line, the main rut, and you couldn't really, you know, get over obstacles with as much precision. In terms of ground clearance, a little bit more in the TRD Pro. This one actually did have the rear differential skid plate, which clearly got used by the pictures I took underneath the vehicle after the event and after the vehicle was cleaned up. So it was making contact at times on certain rocks or certain obstacles using all the ground clearance and the underbody protection that's available. But hey, that's exactly what those vehicles are designed to do. And I think the turning radius was a very positive for both 4Runners or all 4Runners out there because it was able to navigate the twists and turns of these tight sections with the grip conditions, no issues whatsoever, without ever having to make a 3-point turn, which is something that is pretty darn impressive, and not every SUV of this size would be able to do with 33-inch diameter tires. So overall, I think the Fox adjustable dampers on the TRD Pro is a benefit, but the Bilsteins did fine off-road, did fine on-road on smooth roads, but felt a little bit firm or too stiff for my liking in, you know, kind of normal adverse potholes or rough sections of pavement. Just feels like it brings too much vibration or harshness into the cabin under those conditions. But off-road, I think it did absolutely fine. Either one, again, is capable, has all the recovery points, can get the skid plates for additional protection on them. And again, I think they're just extremely capable vehicles. The tires on both of them seem to do okay given these greasy, slimy conditions. And I think it'd be awesome to take one of these overlanding, of course, get the roof rack, get all of your camping gear, and with the onboard power of the hybrid system, 2,400 watts of power, you can pretty much run your campsite, no issues, no questions asked, and pretty good fuel tank capacity as well. So really, if you have any additional questions or want to know anything more about it, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them. But I want to give a huge thanks to Toyota for letting me drive both of these two 4Runners to and from the Mama Spring Rally. Check out additional content I have on the 4Runners in my separate videos, as well as from the Mama Spring Rally on a handful of vehicles that I was able to spend time with and film. And if you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And with all being said, I appreciate continued support and hope to see you guys in the next one.